The reason the program has been so successful is because it is impossible to go anywhere near South Pole and not be affected by it. Now, the first thing is it's a challenge to go to South Pole. Very few people can do it, and that is why this place is covered by snow, not much explored by the people. And once if you go there, you will be affected because you will see everything in front of your eyes, what is happening to the nature. It is easy to be place about polar ice caps melting while sitting in the comfort zone of our respective latitude and longitude. That means wherever we stay, okay, it is Ranchi or any other place, we feel that place is a very comfortable for us. It's very common thing. Any location where you are used to, any environment which you are used to, you will find that very comfortable. Here, place is not at all concerned. So when we are sitting at our home in a very comfortable place, we are not concerned about the polar region because we don't see in front of our eyes what is happening. But when you can visually see, when you can see this, if it is visible, okay, that the glaciers that are melting, that will create problem for future, then you will realize to think and you will try to do something. Now, glaciers retreating and ice shelves collapsing. Retreating here is moving backward, okay, and ice shelves collapsing, that means falling down from its original position. You begin to realize that the threat of global warming is very real, okay. When you see in front of you the heavy glaciers melting, coming down, then you will understand what global warming really is. Antarctica, because of her simple ecosystem and lack of biodiversity, that means we don't have much plants and animals. It's very limited because of that condition. Is the perfect place to study how little changes in the environment can have big repercussions, means result, consequences. So if there is very small change, that will disturb everything. So that is the place where we can study. So the author is giving this as one example. Take a microscopic phytoplankton, those grasses of sea, very small grass which can be visible only by the help of microscope. Nourish means giving food, sustain means taking the stress to support the system. Okay, the entire southern ocean food chain. Now, this particular small plant, which is microscopic, it is supporting the food chain. Okay, how it is supporting, we will see that. Very simple process. Plants take help of carbon dioxide and sunlight and undergo the process of photosynthesis, which in return gives oxygen, and that is useful for the living creatures. Alright, so this single celled plant, it is going to do the same. Assimilate carbon dioxide, synthesize organic compounds, that is making food, in that wondrous, means beautiful, and most important of process called photosynthesis. So that one single celled plant is doing the work of photosynthesis, supporting the life chain. Scientists warn that further depletion in the ozone layer will affect the activities. If there is any problem in the ozone layer, this particular unicellular plant, its existence will come in trouble. It will be difficult for this plant to exist, which in turn will affect the lives of all marine animals. Now, this particular plant, it is undergoing the process of photosynthesis, giving oxygen getting dissolved in water, and that oxygen is supporting the marine life. Is it all right? So if this plant is not existing, photosynthesis process will stop, hence will affect the marine life. Now, along with marine life, we have other living creatures on this Antarctica, that is birds and other animals, so their life will also be in problem. So such a small plant, we need to protect that. All right, in the parable of phytoplankton, that is in the story of phytoplankton, there is a great metaphor of existence, a great message of existence, a kind of comparison. You can say, if small things survive, the big things will also survive. If we destroy the small things like this particular plant, then the other big animals will also get disturbed. They will also disappear because they won't get oxygen to breathe in. Now walk on the ocean, that is the last part of the chapter. My Antarctic experience was full of such epiphanies, that is, understanding, realization. But the best occurred just short of the Arctic Circle at 65.55 degrees south. Now she is trying to share one experience, how she landed there, what was the experience there. Till now we got the description of that entire life, how it is existing in Antarctica. Now 65.55 degrees south, she is there in the southern hemisphere, very much near to that region. Okay, the Shokalsky had managed to wedge herself into a thick white stretch of ice between the peninsula and Tadpole Island. Now the ship by which they were traveling, it has come to that particular area. Okay, thick white stretch of ice means whatever you see, it is ice only all around. Wedge means got stuck. So the ship got stuck at one particular place and it is not able to move. And what is that location? Between Peninsula and Tadpole Island, that's the name of the place, which was preventing us from going further. Now, because the sea is frozen, there is ice everywhere, so the ship cannot move. Okay, so it got stuck. Now they have to get down there only. How did they manage to do so? The captain decided we were going to turn round and head back north. See the decision. One of them decided, the captain, that we should go back to north because they came all the way from the northern hemisphere. But before we did that, we were all instructed to climb down the gangplanks. But before that, what happened? We decided we should get down. And gangplank here, it means piece of wood. Okay, so they were not able to come out, so they took the help of a piece of wood, a big one, and then they walked on the ocean. Now, what is this? The top part of the ocean is frozen ice, so they are able to walk. Otherwise, if you see this line, walk on the ocean, it is not possible, you will get drowned. Okay, so there we were all 52. That was the total number, strength. Kitted out means carrying our belongings, baggages, whatever things we had in Gore-Tex and glares. That is a kind of cloth which is waterproof. Alright, a dress which is waterproof. Walking on the stark whiteness that seemed to spread out forever. Stark white here, it's complete white. Alright, stark whiteness you can write without any decoration, the natural whiteness. Okay, because snow, there is a comparison as white as snow. Alright, so whenever we talk about white color, it is a comparison with snow. So here the author is telling about that seem to spread out forever. Means wherever they see, it's only snow that is visible, nothing else. And underneath our feet was meter thick ice pack. and after that there is life also. 180 meters of living, breathing salt water. Now, what is this line here? It means we were walking on the ocean. It is not ocean here, it is the ice on which they are walking. Okay, the frozen part of the ocean on which they are walking. And inside that, water is there, salty water is there. And living, breathing means life is there. She is talking about the aquatic life, okay, which is under that ocean. So it's full of adventure, children. You are walking on the ocean, and inside that, what is there? Life is also there, water is also there. In the periphery of crab eater cell, periphery is the outer part, you can say. The seals were stretching and sunning themselves on ice. Now here, what is the scene? There is sunshine. Sunning means sunshine is there. Alright? It is a daytime now. Okay? And all the seals, they have come out and they are sitting on that ice sheet and enjoying the sunshine. They are stretching their body, relaxing. And there the comparison is like you see around you the stray dogs that do. When it is very hot, they find a shade that is maybe banyan tree and they just sit down there, relax. In the same way here, seals, they are relaxing. Ice fellows, that means sheet of floating ice. So that's something very good to imagine. You can imagine here sitting, that sheet of ice floating and somebody is sitting on that and relaxing. Okay, it was nothing sort of a revelation. Everything goes indeed connect. So here the author is trying to connect it to her life. Okay, that scene of the seals relaxing. She's trying to connect it with her day-to-day life. Once again, the distance, okay, the time zones, 9 time zones, 6 checkpoints, 3 water bodies, and many ecospheres, different environment. I was still wondering about the beauty of balance in play on our planet. How the planet is balanced. One part it is very hot, say equator. Another part, polar region, it's very cold, covered with ice. Somewhere we have 12 hours day and 12 hours night. Somewhere we have 6 months day, 6 months night. But still, how nicely our planet is balanced, and that is the creation of God. How would it be if Antarctica were to become warm? Now the author is imagining and she's trying to give a very strong message to us that if the temperature increases in Antarctica, what will happen to us? It's actually a threat to us because our life will come in problem. Okay? Our survival, there will be a question mark on that. Will we be around to see it? Yeah, that means the question on our existence of mankind, existence of all the animals, birds, or would we have gone the way of dinosaurs, means disappeared totally. Mammoths and woolly rhinos. Now these are some animals which have disappeared now. They were very big in size, but it is not existing now. So will this happen to us also if the global warming is increasing? It's an open question to all of you. Okay? Who is to say? But after spending 2 weeks with a bunch of teenagers, means young students who still have the idealism to save the world, all I can say is that a lot can happen in a million of years. Now the author is very hopeful. okay, because she has taken so many young students for trip, and those students will have some realization, they will introspect themselves, and maybe give a strong message when they come back to their places, to the entire world, to the entire planet, that how we need to save this planet. If not done, there will be a question mark on our life. So, young students, they will work on this. That is the positivity, that is the hope that the author has, okay, for our planet. So, that is the main reason why she is taking all of us to this journey, and journey to the end of the earth, the title of the story, that is the last point of the earth which is not disturbed at all, and that is giving us life, because if the glaciers are not melting, we are safe at our location, at our longitudes and latitudes. All right. All I can say is that a lot can happen in a million years, but what a difference a day makes. This trip, the day that we have spent there, it will have a deep impact on the students. They will think and they will come out with solutions. What can be done for future? How do we save this planet? Okay, then only our next generation and their next generation can come, and it will remain safe also. It will get everything from this earth. Okay, otherwise, if we start taking things out of our greed, things may come to end any day. But what a difference a day makes. So, at the end of the day, after taking such a tough tour, the author is very positive, and she feels that a deep impact will help us to study the past, future of the planet, and save our environment and stay safe on this planet.